Hello traders, my name is Tomasz Wiśniewski. I'm a chief analyst in Alpari Research and Analysis, and this is daily analytical report with Alpari. Let's start with the macro calendar because just recently, 1 minute ago, we got data from Eurozone. GDP from Eurozone came better than expected, 2.2 instead of 2.1, but the industrial production came worse than expectations, minus 0.7, minus 0.4 was expected, and actually Euro is weaker at the moment after this data, so apparently for the market participants, data from the industrial production was more important than data from the GDP. Also before half an hour ago we got data about average earnings from UK, and we got GDP from Germany, which, as you can see, came better than expectations, and maybe that was one of the main causes why GDP in Eurozone came better than expectations. Tomorrow, as for today's data, that's it. So market will carry on with the technical analysis. And on Wednesday we'll have inflation from UK, so super important data for the traders on the British pound, and retail sales from US, so super important data for the traders on the American dollar. With that being said, let's look on the charts. Here, as you can see, is Euro to Australian dollar, which is going down. The place where we are going down is not random. As you can see, we are waiting for a long time for a breakout from the sideways trend. We got a breakout 2 weeks ago, boom, and now we're just having a test of this level as a resistance. And this test was at the end of the last week, and now we have this test as well, and you can see that it is a shooting star on H4 chart. But here we do have a combination of 3 resistances. So there is a downtrend line, there is upper line of the flag formation, and there is a horizontal resistance here. There's a 50% Fibonacci. So it looks like a denial of this level, and from this point the price should go lower. We should aim the lower line of the flag, then break out of this horizontal support, and then downswing. So the sentiment on Euro to Australian dollar is rather negative, and this is actually a good place to sell. American dollar to Canadian dollar, well, I was thinking yesterday that we should get a breakout of this upper line of the flag, but the price failed to break it, and now we have a small pullback. But in general, the sentiment on American dollar to Canadian dollar is positive. Most recently we bounced from the long-term uptrend line here, and we broke the horizontal resistance marked with a red color, and now we are testing this resistance as a support, as you can see. And the test, well, we cannot say it's super positive, but the buyers are fighting for a proper signal. For the proper buy signal, we should see the bounce from this level and a breakout of the upper line of the flag, and that will be a super strong buy signal. Now Swiss franc to Japanese yen, which was testing this dynamic resistance and a horizontal resistance for the 3rd time here. We are still under the influence of the setup on the weekly chart, so a bounce from the horizontal resistance to shooting stars, a bearish week last week, and now we're having a pullback, which is not supposed to happen actually, because downswing, correction, bounce, double top, downswing, and after the breakout of the lower line of the wedge we should see a further continuation, not a reversal. But the price has other plans here, and this reversal is actually very strong, surprisingly, at least for me. Obviously many people will say that it was very expected, but according to the technical analysis it was not, at least in my opinion. But we're having another test of 50% Fibo, and this horizontal resistance marked with here, those tops and those tops. We're having a test again and a denial reversal, and with this we should see a further downswing. Breakout price coming back above this level will be a very good buy signal. But as you can see, yesterday a very positive session for the buyers. So from this is H4, this is this week. We were on the lowest level since the end of June. So from the lowest level since the end of June, we went significantly higher. This is interesting situation here, and we'll see how it will end up. Those three instruments were from the previous week because situations here were very interesting. Now let's look for the setups elsewhere. On Australian dollar to Japanese yen, there is interesting situation because we do have a breakout from the symmetric from the rectangle here, breakout, test as a resistance, and this is rather a strong sell signal on the weekly chart. That's a creation of the right shoulder formation. So in this case, Japanese yen is much stronger, left shoulder head and a right shoulder, and that can be a start of a bigger downswing. So I'm gonna leave this and let's go to another instrument. Here is Australian dollar to American dollar, where we do have a proper sell signal because the price escaped from the symmetric triangle pattern here, and here. That's a rectangle, and here is the symmetric triangle pattern. So breakout gives us a proper sell signal, which is also very interesting in the long term. Those previous weeks, as you can see, the price could not decide which way they want to go. They decided here with the proper sell signal. So Australian dollar, American dollar, proper sell signal. Euro to Canadian dollar. As you can see, Canadian dollar is pretty strong. That is why here we are not climbing higher. And the euro is pretty weak, and thanks to that, here we are going lower. That's the situation. On euro to Canadian dollar, what we have is a breakout of the neckline of the head and shoulder formation here. Left shoulder, head and right shoulder. The price broke the neckline, tested that as a resistance, and went lower. Horizontal resistance. So in the long term, that is pretty good sell signal. And that's pretty good sell signal with the potential target here on this line. And it looks like we should eventually get there. Euro to Swiss franc, next instrument. Here we also do have this head and shoulder pattern. The price should go lower. I'm not a fan of opening after such a strong drop, so I'm gonna pass on that. Euro to British pound on a daily chart. That seems like a false breakout above the stop. We are on an uptrend line. Price coming back below this line will be a strong sell signal. Also because of this false breakout here. That can be considered as a false breakout. Euro to Japanese yen, what's the situation here? It's not super clear from the from the technical point of view, so I'm gonna say pass on this. Euro dollar, this one obviously is super interesting for you. Horizontal resistance, head and shoulder formation, downswing, little comeback, and the price is trying to go down again, as you can see now. Most recently we broke this lower line of the correction pattern. That is a sell, quite fresh new sell signal for the euro dollar. I was thinking about the price coming back here, but as you can see, traders do not want to do this. Fair enough. Another instrument is British pound to Australian dollar. On the British pound we do have a reversal. The price is trying to draw like a double bottom formation. Here on this instrument I don't have any trading signal for you, but maybe we'll have one on British pound to Canadian dollar. But here you can see the strength of the Canadian dollar, which I was telling you about here. You can have this here, and you have this here despite the strength of the pound, most recent strength, because overall the pound is very weak. We do have a continuation of this movement. British pound to Swiss franc, that's capitulation here. Very nice trend continuation pattern. So downswing, flag, downswing. Here looks like that. Horizontal. Yes, that is a strong sell signal. Maybe we should see a small pullback and then movement, but yes, it looks interesting from the selling point of view. Let's check British pound to Japanese yen. Small pullback we have here. Let's check how deep this pullback can go. Actually, it should finish now. We can also aim this resistance. Let's check the Fibos. That's the first good stop. Second good stop is somewhere here on 38.2. We also do have those lows. That's also not the worst place. It looks alright. But overall sentiment on British pound to Japanese yen is negative. Cable. What's up with the cable? Cable tries a reversal. It is killed quite fast because of the stronger dollar. Sentiment is negative. But we may be getting short squeeze soon. Too many short positions. Maybe we should get a bigger reversal here. We will see. New Zealand dollar to Japanese yen. Breakout of the support, downswing, no proper setup. But we got set up here, obviously, on New Zealand dollar to American dollar. With the breakout of that support. That's a more complex situation. So here we got this dynamic support. We got this pattern here, which was a symmetric triangle, which will be better seen on H4 chart. Exactly before the breakout we had this small rectangle downswing. Now maybe we'll have a pullback to this area. I wouldn't mind if the price would aim this line as well. That would create an interesting selling opportunity, price getting here, for example. So I'm gonna keep my eyes on this instrument. American dollar to Swiss franc now. Here the price is inside of a symmetric triangle formation, and we are just waiting for the breakout. There is one closer resistance here. We are getting closer to the breakout, which should show us a direction in the midterm. It's a trend continuation pattern after an upswing, so we should see a trend, a breakout of the upper line of this formation. But everything can happen, obviously. Here, Swiss franc and Japanese yen rise again. We will see if the Japanese yen will survive this in the battle of safe haven currencies. Swiss franc is a bit stronger this week. Well, a bit stronger. That's a very strong upswing. So not only a bit. American dollar to Canadian dollar we talked about. Australian dollar to Canadian dollar. Here we do have a strength of the Canadian dollar. Another example of the strength of the Canadian dollar. On the daily chart, new lows, looks negative. American dollar to Swiss franc. So that is a proper sell signal. Australian dollar to Swiss franc. Because it looks like the end of this correction. This support to downswing correction, and we should see a further downswing. So this looks like a proper sell signal here. Horizontal resistance. Yes, selling here, stop loss somewhere here. Obviously a lot of pips, so that would be long-term occasion with a very small volume, but entering with a short position here, stop loss 220 pips and take profit 600. It looks promising. Fortunately, it's not good for long-term trade because the swaps are not the best here, because you're selling currency with higher interest rate and you're buying the currency with the negative interest rate actually. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Upswing, correction, upswing. We are in the long-term symmetric triangle on a weekly chart and waiting for a proper signal. It probably won't happen this week, so we have to wait. There is this horizontal support and probably traders are waiting. Upswing, correction, upswing, correction, upswing, correction. And what's next? We have to wait and see what is next here, but seems like a good place for a buy, for example. Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, let's check this one out. Daily, weekly still here. H4, it looks like a sell. Here's like an upswing correction, and we should see a further downswing. Downswing correction, downswing. On H4 too. Downswing correction, downswing. There's this lower line of the correction. Here is the upper line of the correction. Here is the Fibos. And the price aiming lower. There is this horizontal support here. Price breaking the orange area will be a strong sell signal. So actually I can remove the Fibos because they are not so relevant here. Yeah, so on a daily chart this can be a strong sell. Now Canadian dollar to Japanese yen. That is a reversal. Canadian dollar is stronger at the moment than the Japanese yen. Looks like a strong reversal. We'll see what will happen with this one. Will the downswing be continued? That's also kind of a symmetric triangle, support, resistance, and we are in the middle of those movements. On a weekly chart, that's kind of head and shoulder formation, so we should see further drop actually, but today the traders have another plan, different plan. Euro to New Zealand dollar is pretty similar to Australian dollar to New Zealand dollar, as you can see. Upswing, correction, upswing, upswing, correction, upswing. Now we're trying to retrace this movement. Check New Zealand dollar to Canadian dollar. On a weekly chart that looks even like a trend change, but for this we need to see the breakout of this orange area first. But we are kind of too low for me. New Zealand dollar to Swiss franc, that's a sell signal. British pound to New Zealand dollar. That can be an interesting trading signal because we are in a symmetric triangle formation. Most recently we bounced from the lower line of this formation. Now we'll try to break the upper line of this formation. So it looks pretty like a pretty good deal. More accurate resistance. I'm gonna keep this chart and see what happens here. And let's check silver. Because what we got on silver is the breakout of the lower line of the symmetric triangle, which was expected by us. We even wrote that in our analysis. They had a chance to come back above this horizontal resistance, but they failed. And instead of that, the price broke the lower line of this triangle and went lower. So precious metals are now in a very, very bad position. Many people point at the short squeeze, that the amount of short positions on the precious metals is unbelievably high, and maybe it will result with a stronger reversal. But as for now, it looks more like a wishful thinking. I don't think that we do have enough signs for a bullish reversal here. So let me recap the situation for you. So Swiss franc to Japanese yen, it's general sell, but the reversal from the first 2 days of the week is pretty impressive, and most probably it will end up with a breakout and a further upswing. because this reversal looks really strong. And American dollar to Canadian dollar, here we do have a positive situation. We should see the breakout of the upper line of the flag. Euro to Australian dollar, it's rather a negative situation, especially that we are on a very important horizontal resistance here, so the price should continue to go down. Australian dollar to Japanese yen, sell. Euro to Canadian dollar, sell. Euro dollar, sell. British pound to Swiss franc, sell. British pound to Japanese yen, that's a sell. New Zealand dollars to American dollar, sell. American dollar to Swiss franc, waiting for the breakout from the triangle. Here Australian dollar, Swiss franc, sell. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, waiting for occasion to buy. Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, after the breakout of the orange line, that will be sell. British pound, New Zealand dollar, waiting for the breakout from the sideways trend. And silver, that is a strong sell. So guys, this is the situation on the market right now. Thanks very much for watching the daily analytical report. I hope you enjoyed that. And now we have a short break, and after that we'll have a webinar about the price action, so I hope you will all attend this webinar. Thanks very much, all the best in trading, and goodbye.